Hey, Mrparka here to do a review for Raro. This is a Blu-ray release of the Ubaldo Terzani horror show. Raro usually releases older films, special Italian films, Italian crime films, controversial films, groundbreaking films, and horror films. This one's a newer film, which is kind of rare, kind of strange for them to release, but there's good reason they released it. It is a lot like older films, and it fits well with their catalog. This is by the same guy that did the movie Last House in the Woods that came out in 2006. It was under a Ghost House Underground. It got overlooked by a lot of people. I guess people thought it was just like this crumb bum, like crappy movie, but it was really a really cool Italian horror movie with a lot of gore and a lot of good atmosphere. It was a really actually underrated, overlooked movie, and I really thought it was a pretty good movie, especially when I didn't expect anything out of it. This movie actually is better than that, and it's a really smart, intelligent, great film. It is a lot like the old Italian horror films, but it's a lot different enough to stand on its own and not necessarily just rely on the whole throwback homage thing. It has a lot more going for it. Basically what we have here is a struggling horror director who, all these Italian horror films always have an artist, a writer, a photographer, something like that. That's always been a reoccurring theme for these Italian horror films, and this one's a little no different for that. We got this struggling young horror director who nobody wants him to make horror movies because it's not selling well in Italy at this point, which is true. So basically he gets teamed up with this horror writer to write a great script, because he can't write. He can direct, they think, but he can't write, so they want him to team up and write a great script. What happens basically is right when he starts reading this horror writer's books, he starts having a really outlandish, disgustingly gory nightmares. Psychological things like that start happening to him.
Ragazza per lei.
Ah sì?
Sì.
Sicura?
Sì.
Sicura, sicura?
Sì.
E allora fammi vedere se sei una ragazza per bene.
He's having trouble with his girlfriend, and when he actually goes out and meets the writer to team up with him, the writer's not what he seems exactly. They're wondering where he gets all his inspiration for it to be so realistic, and you do find out. The writer, I guess, he's definitely an odd character, one-of-a-kind character, and I would take a mix of him, basically the Devil, Italian Jack Nicholson, and Lucio Fulci, and you would probably get this guy. He is a wild character. He's a great character. The acting is really top-notch. I was surprised by the acting, especially I wasn't really sure how the acting would be, because these people have to deliver some serious roles. There's some great shots in here, some good shots that remind you of like one shot reminded me of the color schemes, kind of like Dario Argento at points. The music is great. The music has the kind of the haunting and the I guess like the techno beatish thing. I don't know, not necessarily techno beatish, but it is a good score that is reminiscent of older scores, but different. Like I said, the whole movie is the same, but it's a lot different to stand on its own, and that's a plus for me. It has a good twist, of course, at the end, but there's a lot of, it's not necessarily a twist, but kind of a lot of kind of foreshadowing that plays into it. You definitely see a lot of these things coming. There's a great line in there that delivers when they're writing the script for the film. He says something along the lines of really psychological in the end, be a big splatter scene. And you knew right then and there that this movie was going to have that, especially if you're familiar with the director's other film. Yeah, but I would recommend this to fans of Italian horror films from the past, or new thriller psychological films, or some extreme stuff too, because there's a little bit of extremity in this film. One of the scenes is actually pretty disturbing. The end scene has a couple scenes that I was just like on the edge of my seat a little bit. Yeah, I'd recommend this one. It's a good release too. Comes with audio commentaries and the making of, and analyst by Chris Alexander from Fangoria magazine. Yeah, looks good as well. It's also available on DVD. I thought it was comes with a booklet as well. I thought it was a well-rounded horror film, and different and smart, and it's one of those ones that has the whole package. This is the whole package. Has everything any horror fan would want, I think. All different types of horror fans would dig this movie. But Mrparka, thank you very much for watching. Have a good one.
Eccoci, siamo quasi arrivati. Che posto, eh? Sono nate un sacco di storie su questo posto, leggende, fantasticherie.
Ovvero?
Quali storie? Sul finire degli anni '80.